This song says a lot about people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Remington,
And I'm Chase.
and we're going to be reacting to Linkin Park's newest video, Lost. The newest song video.
Music
song.
video.
That one. Push the button.
I did
You can do it.
4 times. It's an anime. It's
You
the
love
best
anime.
one. It's the best
All right.
one.
All right, I guess they win.
They win. It's the best one. It's an anime.
Breaking the Habit is an anime music video, too.
Is it really?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So this is actually pretty similar to that already, and we're only 1 second in.
We
Got things to say.
second.
1 second.
Very Japanese.
Just a scar.
Sorry.
Thank you. I wanted to pause it right there too.
Yeah, one of the things I really like about Linkin Park is their intros. They do a great job of setting it up, bringing it together, and you notice it's kind of like a back and forth, and then you get back to it, and then repeat, and then you're getting ready, and it drops. And it just comes right in, smooth. And did I hear that voice right? I gotta back it up a few seconds. Sorry, you had some thoughts?
I was going to say it feels very Linkin Park. It feels a little bit more electronic than I think I picture with Linkin Park, but some of their more modern stuff is that way.
Well, some of the older stuff is quite that way too.
Yeah,
I would say
Meteora was
Yeah.
a very electronic album. It
I
was
think
kind of
a
an
lo-
electronic take on their first album.
Yeah, I think their first 2 albums actually were more heavily electronically influenced, or more, they had more of that kind of techno feel, and they had more of the voice shifting. You know how when they do that with Mike Shinoda's voice?
Yes.
Yeah, so I noticed more of that in their older stuff than in their
Gotcha.
newer stuff.
Now, one thing that I'm actually confused about, less than a year ago, Mike Shinoda said that Linkin Park is not performing together or making music together anymore. Less than a year ago. That was last April. And here we have something new from them.
Well, let's see how this
I mean,
goes.
they kind of took quite the hiatus after Chester's passing.
Well, they were making music after that still. Like
Yeah,
Mike
for a
Shinoda
short
was making
little bit.
music. And
Yeah.
Somewhere down, just a scar. Somewhere down inside of me, something I cannot repair, even though it will always be. I pretend it isn't there. I'm trapped in yesterday, where the pain is all I know, and I'll never break away. 'Cause when I'm alone, I'm lost in these memories, living behind my own illusion. Lost all my dignity, living inside my own confusion.
Unless that's why they went for the more animated look, is because this music video doesn't actually have him in it. If this was a previously recorded song, because he did say less than a year ago that they weren't working on new music.
yeah.
If this was previously
Well, and he can't
recorded,
make new music if he's not around.
Well, yes, but if this was previously recorded, that would still explain an accurate way for this to have been released less than a year after they're saying they're not making new things. But that could be why they went with the animated look, is to put his image in it without him.
So here's what I want to do. I want to watch this through talking while we go, and then I want to watch it through without talking,
To watch the music
just
video?
off on our own, like just here, and then give our final thoughts after we watch it through once.
Okay.
Makes sense. So let's talk through as we go, and then let's watch it through once, and then talk at the end.
All right. The just watching it through part, you're not going to be able to get here. Maybe on thetaxshow.com, but not straight on YouTube. So let's watch this.
But I'm tired. I will always be afraid of the damage I've received, broken promises they made, and how blindly I believed. I will never break away, 'cause when I'm alone, I'm lost in these memories.
I will say this song hurts more knowing about his passing after the fact. It's very emotional. You can feel the pain. Like this isn't something coming from someone who's in a mentally stable condition.
It's reminiscent of their Meteora album to me.
It is very.
That's the closest feel that I get from it.
Yeah.
Almost between like Hybrid Theory and Meteora.
Yeah. Wonder if it was an unreleased song from then.
Lost all my dignity, living inside my own confusion. I try to keep this pain inside, but I will never be alright. I try to keep this pain inside, but I will never be alright. I try to keep this pain inside, but I will never be alright.
Is this layering
Yeah.
where they sing a chorus or something like that, and then they layer over it for when they sing it again like this. It's really beautiful,
Yeah.
and the imagery is stark.
It's haunting. It's haunting imagery.
Yeah,
It's haunting imagery, and the song itself feels like a cry for help. Very much feels like someone who's drowning and needs something that they can't seem to find to stop. That they need that life tube, life raft. That's what it feels like. That's what it sounds like.
we always talk about contrast, and it's something that Linkin Park does so well. From this like soft, almost spoken, like light kind of upper voice register to this like screaming, you
Yeah.
know, and then you have the more sharper talking that Mike Shinoda throws in there that
Yeah.
sometimes has kind of the shadowy effect to it, and sometimes has this just very stark like, boom, this is how it is, dun 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 dun, you know. And when you combine those elements together, those three things that they really have, it's I think what really made them so special in the first place.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
you have that, like I said, that smooth talk to that blast, you know, and then you got Mike Shinoda's voice in there, and it works together really beautifully. And
Yeah, I think
They do
two
that
of the
well.
songs of theirs that really, really emphasize that are In the End and Numb. Two of their biggest songs really are hard into that soft, light, airy, and then just bam! Here we are, we're hard, we're screaming, we gotta get this emotion out.
Right.
And then back to In Control, light, airy singing. They're a very talented group.
yes, and they work just so well in concert together. It's
Yes.
like the sum is greater than all the parts.
Yes, I do think from going through and being a big fan of them growing up, I get the feeling that Mike Shinoda is not the easiest person to work with. Because there were several almost break-aparts where they were blaming Mike Shinoda. So he sounds like he's probably not the easiest guy to work with. But in the actual meshing of their abilities, yeah, it's amazing. Time out. Is this a Meteora song?
But that's interesting. Like just as an aside, the recommended videos that pop up
Are all Meteora?
are Meteora.
It premiered just a few days ago.
That's right. This is brand new.
Yeah. Meteora's 20-year anniversary album out April 7th. So I'm gonna go click on this. I'm gonna do some research right now. I want to find out if this is like an unreleased song from that era. All right, and we're back. We took a quick little research break, and we discovered that sure enough, this was a lost song that was found. Mike Shinoda said finding it was like looking at an old photo and the memories that come back with it.
So Linkin Park. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, this probably was a lost song from the Meteora days.
Yep. So Linkin Park is going to be re-releasing their Meteora album. However, the difference is they're going to have, I think, and don't quote me on this, but about 14 new tracks as part of that.
Yes, that weren't part of the original album. So like 10 of them are live songs, most likely of songs we all know and love, but live performances over the years. Then there's going to be a couple of unreleased demo songs called, I believe, Unfortunate and Halo were their names. And then this song, which was previously unreleased. That's why it was so shocking to hear Chester Benningfield's voice, because was Bennington, sorry. Yeah. Chester Bennington's voice, because it was something that we haven't heard in years. He's been gone for what, 5 years now?
It was a closed book that's been reopened.
Yes.
And it's exciting to see that. It's exciting to hear that. I want to jump on that album because one, you get Meteora, but it's updated and it's got all kinds of good new stuff in it. We get to hear some new songs that we never heard before. And I got some final thoughts, but we're going to give this one more watch before we give our final thoughts. This song says a lot about people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because one of the things that Chester brought to the table was in understanding. And what he gave to people was hope and empathy. I listen to Linkin Park all the time. And I read the comments on the YouTube videos. And sometimes I gotta just stay away from the comment section if I want to get through my day without getting too emotional, because you can't go more than just a comment or two without people saying, "You saved my life. I learned about myself. I was in a dark place. Your music brought me out. I related to you. I felt what you felt. You helped me see something I didn't see." Or, you know, my cousin or my sister or whatever committed suicide, and, you know, this helped me understand them better.
Yeah.
And different things like that. And there's just so much gratitude. I see more gratitude for Linkin Park than I see for any other band. I see a lot of like, yeah, this band's really cool. Yeah, they got sweet music, sweet beats. But when I see the comments on Linkin Park videos, it is all gratitude.
It makes you wonder what part of the reasoning was about why this one wasn't published. If it was something like that, where it was such a cry for help that they decided against it at the time because of that. I mean, it's a beautiful song, haunting imagery. The imagery reminds me of something between like Ghost in the Shell and Kingdom Hearts animation, but like cell shaded. And it's difficult to describe it because it's a very ethereal music video trying to capture an essence of an emotion on video without the face of the person who was feeling the emotion. Mm-hmm. Okay? And that's very, very hard to portray. I'm not going to say they knocked it out of the park with it, but they did a good job expressing the confusion, the feeling that like...
Falling. And
yes, you're falling, you're drowning, you're underwater, you can't find your way out. Every once in a while, you're out. You're standing there on the beach. There's a scene where the main animated character is standing there on the beach and about to walk into the water, and the wolf spirit thing turns around and like just barks and kind of snaps the main character out and steps back. Like there's sometimes there's help there. There are people reminding you to step back from that cliff. You don't need to go into that. But that doesn't mean that because you step back from it once you're okay.
Right.
And I think the end of the story here for Chester tells us that there needs to be a consistent helping hand. There needs to be someone there who can help, because you're fighting with so much confusion. There's so many things going on that you don't understand and don't know how to fight against when you're in the depths of those emotions. And I think they portrayed it really well.
One of the things that I think spoke volumes was that the lyrics basically say, you know, I go into that and I am behind my illusion, behind this illusion that I made, whatever, right? And it's like, it's easy to feel like the darkness or the trauma is the real thing, and the other stuff is a facade, is something fake, and that we're just kind of pretending here, but we're always going to go back into that darkness, into that confusion, into that place behind the illusion. And it causes me to reflect on myself and how I treat other people, how I treat my children, how I treat my spouse, how I treat my friends. Like, am I living in such a way that I'm empowering and encouraging people? Or am I acting in such a way that, I'm building this realm of doubt and confusion and darkness for people?
Yeah.
And I think that that's really important, because we do, no matter how much we don't think we do or how much we don't want to, we all influence each other this way and that. And I think that if we can be mindful of those things and just take a moment to reflect, and I love Linkin Park for this, because they give us that moment to reflect.
Yeah.
They give us that taste of that confusion, of that darkness, of that doubt. And they say, this is the reality for some people. And when we understand that, we're better able to communicate, we're better able to help those who need help, or get help if we're the ones who need help.
Yeah.
One
of the visuals that was repeating throughout it, and was one of the more stark ones, is the one where the character is like falling down into the iris of an eye. And that was repeating. The first time it's mentioned is when I'm alone, I'm in my memories, right? And you're falling down into that. And I think one of the things that visual portrayed, and maybe it wasn't what they intended, but this is definitely what I took out of it, is looking into someone's eyes, you can understand better what's going on with them than you could ever possibly understand by just trying to listen to them, because they are going to be putting on a mask. And I'm not saying the mask is necessarily a mask. It could be an alternate version of yourself that you're trying to portray as, this is me, I'm healthy, I'm good.
Or trying to work toward.
Yes, or trying to work toward. I'm not saying the mask is a negative thing. But if you're looking into someone's eyes, you can see a whole lot more of what's actually going on under the surface, which is very interesting. That character was falling down into the iris of the eye, falling down into if you're looking at my eyes, you might see this pain. Where I am here falling in and struggling. Or maybe not. But that's where you have the best shot.
Right.
Yeah, that was a very hauntingly beautiful song from a band I grew up with, and that was powerful.
Yeah. Thank you, Linkin Park, for putting that together and bringing that. And I think that this is something worth sharing. So go out and share this video and take time for the people in your life. Take time for yourself. Understand the people in your life. Understand yourself. Understand your pain, your trauma, your shadows. And let's try to make some good outcomes from it.
Yep.
Appreciate everybody being here and checking out our reaction. Please subscribe if you liked what you heard here. And thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next one.